Daniel, hi.
Hi. Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, hello, Daniel. Who have we got with me today? Who else
Hi.
is there?
I'm Berkai Flore, and
I'm Desiree Hoeksma.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Thank you all so much for joining me on the Martin Talk Show. Are you in Edinburgh yet? Have you arrived at the festival?
yeah, we all live here, so we live in the area. So it's just been a small commute.
Are you actually from Edinburgh itself?
No,
Puerto Rico.
The Netherlands.
Indigenous Native American, and then Nick, who is not here with us today, he is from Scotland.
Right. Okay. So, tell me about your show, Romance on Repeat. What's the show all about?
The story is about my character Lizzie. Lizzie McDonald loves a Hallmark romance, specifically on the Hallmark Channel. And it is about her getting sucked into the Hallmark universe, trying to find her happily ever after, but it turns into a Groundhog Day from hell because she's been trying to get away from some big world things that are going on in her own world. And this is her escape. So, will she be able to break out of the Hallmark world and find true love and happily ever after, or will she get stuck there forever? We just don't know.
So tell me a little bit more about this story then, and what it means to you. What's it like being in a small ensemble piece like this?
Man, it's been such a big journey for us because
Like
we've
9 months.
9 months in this company. So we built the company from scratch, Backyard Alchemy. And come on,
You got the
logo.
badge. You got the badge.
And so I think we've all had such different journeys with it because the script has changed a lot. This is our fifth adaptation of it. I play the lead female, Lizzie, and her journey has gone through so much. I think for me personally, it's been such a great story about self-growth and self-love and really having to take responsibility for your own life and the weight that that can have in unexpected ways. How about for you guys?
Um, I'm really excited to be doing the Fringe for the first time. This is my first Fringe show. I came here 2 years ago because I grew up as a theater kid and I always heard about this great international festival where every year you see like thousands of plays going on. I'm like, I gotta see this. And 2 years ago, I finally had enough money to come here and I fell in love with it. And I was like, I have to do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I have to be here. And then I found the program, and part of it was that they put you in the Fringe show, and I met them, and very excited. I play different characters, Jack, John, in the Hallmark channels. The lead always meets the small town hunk guy that either runs a farm or some kind of other small business that is always on the brink of financial ruin, and she always saves it at the end, and they fall in love. And so the different characters I play all have like their different jobs and even different like accents and personalities. And the more Groundhog's Day cycles we go through, the more kind of exaggerated the
Unhinged.
character yeah,
Unhinged.
it becomes. But yeah, I
So,
just
so
really
what is it about the Fringe that has such a draw and appeal for performers? What is it that there is from that outside perspective looking in that just makes you want to be part of it?
I think a big aspect of it is the community. Like we as performers tend to find other performers. When you're the wacky kids in school or the neurodivergence in class, and you get to be in a festival that celebrates that wackiness or that creativity in a world that isn't structured for your brain. I think it's a really
Yes.
exciting opportunity to communicate. Plus, it's really cool to celebrate. Like, this is a really amazing celebration of artists and different artworks from a vast majority of people and backgrounds. Like, it's a melting pot of not only creative thinking, but of, exotic everything. Like, insert blank.
Yeah, I see it a place of not just creative thinking, but also creative freedom as well, because
Yeah.
there's that opportunity for us to be free and be who we are. I completely agree with that thing of finding your people, of
Hmm.
like when maybe you're at school, you're thrown into a mix of people that don't quite fully understand you, or you're not necessarily connecting, but you can go somewhere like the Fringe, and all of a sudden this magic happens between people
Absolutely.
and things can grow from there as well. So for you two as well, is this your first time at the Fringe?
Yeah, it is. Um, is it your first time performing in it?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never been at the Fringe before.
Yeah, same.
So,
Um,
so so we're on like day one, aren't we? We're like the Fringe is literally starting today.
yeah, I think
I thought
technically it opened
2 days ago, I
like
think.
2 days
Mhm.
ago, but
Mhm.
a lot of productions that we've come across are in pre-production or they're doing like advertising productions where you can go in for a lesser amount or for free just so they can get the word out of there because word of mouth is really big for this and social media as well.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so I think that's kind of, I mean, we open on Sunday, August 3rd
And how long's the run till?
through the 23rd on all odd days. So we have 11 performances.
Wow. You're there for the entire run.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the thing. And so
We're
in
ready.
between, what's the plan then for getting audiences into your show? Because I know that that is tough. There is a lot of people there, but there's also a lot of shows going on. I think it's somewhere like 3,000 productions
Yeah.
over the 3 weeks. So getting the bums on seats, getting the people into the theatre space. How are you going to do it?
Talking to wonderful people like yourself is definitely helpful. We also we're doing ad spaces on a couple of online platforms. I'm also the social media manager, and we've been hitting our TikTok at Backyard Alchemy Theater and our Instagram really hard as well. We wanted to take a behind the scenes view of getting to know us as people
Yes.
and then bringing them into the world of our show, and so that's kind of been our marketing strategy, and it's going well. We're now seeing ticket revenue coming from it, which is like really exciting.
I
um,
like that. I like that a lot. That people buy into people.
mhm.
Like we can look at the shows and the posters and the titles of the plays, but I think if I think back to last year, my visit to Fringe, the shows that I spontaneously went to see were the ones where the people drew me in,
Yeah,
where I got to know people on the street, and they were like, "Come and see this," and I wanted to experience what they were up to.
definitely.
Oh, we'll be doing that too.
Yeah, so much
We'll
flyering.
be flyering.
Flyering for days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much flyering. I think though we all love our show like
A lot.
a lot.
Mhm.
We stand behind this creative journey and this, I mean, God, like our creative baby we're putting out into the world. So I think that the passion for this is also just comes across in how we talk about it with people one on one. So I'm hoping that as we fly, or that just kind of brings them in.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit like like you literally like fishing there, and like
A
you've
little
got to
bit.
reel them in, and so what's the bait? What's the hook?
I think the hook is different for all of us, which is like because we have such different experiences in this show of like what our characters do. I think for me, my hook is listen, ladies, you know the world of dating right now is really freaking hard. So do you like, want to be a part of this experience where we can maybe talk about it? Like, come here, girl, come here. Like that's mine. How about you guys?
Well, what about you guys?
For me, I think the hook is kind of like the absurdism of all, because like most plays, either it's gonna be sort of more like realistic, like a personal experience, or based on real events, or if it's not based on real events, it's something more fiction, but it's still kind of like based in real life. Like there's a show right now called like Lady Macbeth plays like left wing defense, and it's like
Okay.
Macbeth but takes place in high school.
Hmm.
So our show is like Lizzie is in real life, but then she gets sucked into this TV world. So it's like,
Escapism.
yeah, the weirdness just blends into the reality, and it's actually a type of storytelling that I like a lot when like the real and imaginary kind of are forced to integrate together. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland a little bit.
Kind of
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
it's really the switch from like the stereotypical romantic comedy that you might have seen before to this heartbreaking story with so much heart, so much beauty,
So
like
much.
underlying beauty. It's actually stunning how it's written.
Agreed.
Yeah,
It makes me cry every time.
Girl, same.
there is an important emotional backbone that really adds depth to this comedy that I'm not going to spoil. You'll have to see it yourself.
Oh my God, what?
No spoilers here, please.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
See how we hooked you?
Yeah. So that Alice in Wonderland thing as well. I'm quite interested to hear a bit more about that. How this story is taking you to another place, and the escapism that you're finding within this. Because that's something that I really love about theatre is that moment to switch off from the world and to go somewhere else. So tell me a little bit more about that, the other place that you're going to be taking the audience to.
Hallmark universe. So I think what everybody has seen a rom-com before. So like this kind of cheesy, overdramatic aspect of that world. So we're gonna take you into that world for a little bit. It's funny and delightful. We get to see many different holidays through this lens, which is really exciting, but also a little bit off. Like there's definitely a glitch aspect to our show that I think is really interesting. I think the escapism too comes into really rooting for wanting a happily ever after. I think it's sold to us so much, this happily ever after thought, that we get to get a taste of it for a second. I think that's where part of that lies.
Yeah, I for those of you who haven't seen a Hallmark movie, it's almost like
I think that's most
I've spoken to this to some people, and it's like, what's the Hallmark channel? And I'm like, okay, so
Lifetime rom-com.
yeah, the United States has a TV channel basically entirely made for the most cliche, formulaic romantic movies. You have successful woman from the big city goes to her small town for vacation, and then she finds love, and then rinse and repeat. Next movie, same thing, different holiday, different location. It's the same movie. So once they get it, it's like, so the sort of heightened aspect of this is that when she gets sucked into her TV, she kind of gets everything that she ever wanted
and more.
But part of the theme of the show is what you want versus what you need, and that is something that she's kind of forced to confront.
Heavily.
And that's like a key thing in life, isn't it? Discovering that we don't always get what we want.
Yeah.
But I often find that in the opposite, we do get what we need. Do you find that as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that it ties into, like, I live and die by actions speak louder than words. And I think that need and want is that same thing. Because you might want something, but that's just words. But what you actually need, like, that's actionable. Like, it's going to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want it to or not.
Yes, it sure is. And so what TV program, I'm wondering, for you three, if you was to be sucked into the screen right now, where would you want to go?
Yeah, I know. Notice that two women lost their minds immediately.
I have already answered.
I know. Which one of my personalities? Danny, if you have one, go for it, man. Gosh.
If I had to be sucked into a TV program, I guess it would be the one where I'm some kind of successful millionaire that doesn't have to worry about rent. I want that show.
Okay, so you're gonna.
Wasn't there one called The Secret Millionaire, where he had to, he's a millionaire and he dishes out his money to people that need it. Have you seen that one?
No, but I'm fine with that. I'll be a secret millionaire. I'll help people out. There you go.
That sounds like a good one.
I'm gonna say I have two because they're very split, like my soul. I would have to say Shadow and Bone because I love a fantasy magic exists reality that has a lot of darkness in it, and Bridgerton because I am that girl.
I hear you.
Thank you.
I would say Over the Garden Wall or Our Flag Means Death.
Oh!
I don't know either of those two.
Tell
me more.
For you.
Over the Garden Wall is it's a short animated series it's nothing like you expect. And Our Flag Means Death is just brilliant.
So our flag means
Yes, I've heard of Our Flag Means Death, actually. Yeah, it's a comedy, isn't it? That one?
It's pirates.
and Restart.
It's so good.
it's based on the documented events of a real pirate who was known as the Gentleman Pirate. And it's basically a comedy based on his adventures or misadventures if you're his crew.
So I think that's our
yeah.
answers.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. So if that's where you want to go, where do you need to go? What program do you need to visit? You personally. Let's go deep now. Yeah, what show would it be that would actually make a change in your life that you need to experience?
I think that's a harder question to answer.
It's very hard, isn't it?
Let me process that.
Probably some kind of documentary about inner peace or something about just being happy with like the work that you put in something.
Nature documentary.
I don't know. Some of those animals are scary.
Okay, I'm gonna have like a weird answer, but there's a reason for it. I'm gonna say Emily in Paris because it is a single woman in the world in a foreign country that is having to come to terms with how to be herself in the world and accept that in order to find her success. And I find that they do it in a really charming way. And I romanticize the hell out of my own life, so I think that's great. But I think it would be through that lens to be able to have the courage to be in the other two spaces.
Who's the chef?
I think I watched
I don't
too
even know
many
his
dramatic shows for this.
I know.
Too many people die, and I'm like, I don't want to be there.
She's in Game of Thrones?
Oh God.
Oh gosh. I don't think I have an answer to this.
That's okay. We don't always have it. I'll tell you what, we'll put a pin in that one for you and we'll come back to it. I'm going to find you in Edinburgh and we're going to have an answer when I come find you in Edinburgh.
Come find us on the mile. I'll try and answer it.
Everyone's going to ask you this.
That's a deal. That's a deal. So I want you thinking about that one. So as we go into Edinburgh and we look forward to the next few weeks, what are your hopes and dreams then for the next few weeks?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I sincerely hope that the people who see the show talk about us and spread our show to other people, and hopefully some of those people would be casting directors, and we make a great enough impression to them that they will keep an eye on us for later, because I have met a lot of people in the 9 months that I've been here, so I've been starting to slowly grow a network, but I would like to actually expand professionally after this show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you see Edinburgh then as like an opportunity to enhance your career, to move forward from it?
Absolutely. There is a level of experimentation here that I currently have not found in Miami, which is where I've been living. Miami plays things very safely. Mostly if you go to theaters there, you will either find whatever is the trendy musical or ballets. It's unusual to see a straight play, and if you do see a straight play, either it's probably from a touring company that is coming from somewhere else, or it's probably a play that is popular and has been done a lot, like one of the Shakespeare's or something else. They don't really experiment a lot with theater. That's why I was so kind of like overwhelmed and impressed when I came here for the first time, and I saw all of these different stories and different styles and like different voices. It was like, this is possible. Oh my God.
For myself, I would say my 3 dreams would be to sell out several audiences. I think that'd be really cool to see. I really hope that we get several good reviews in like some sort of publication. It'd be really cool to see that.
5 stars.
Yeah, come on.
Come on the stars.
Yeah, and I think my last one is, my biggest dream is I hope that the people that see this show are emotionally touched in a way that helps us to connect with them through this work. There's something really special about this show, and I know a lot of people say that about their works. I have said that about other works, but truly, our writer Tommy did something so human in such a vulnerable, beautiful, creative way that really deserves its flowers. And I hope that those who come to see it take something away from it, and we're able to, kind of walk hand in hand symbolically after the show.
Yeah, for me, I also, of course, want sold out audiences, want good reviews, want connections after this, but I'm also really excited to be part of the community that is like so present at Edinburgh Fringe, like all the connected companies and other people from our program who have also been like what is that called, like when you're crossing your networking, exactly. And that has already been so wonderful. I'm really excited to see the bigger community as well. And of course, like you said, like I'm so focused on the audience having a good experience. Absolutely. And leaving with something that we gave them would just be the best. That is the ultimate goal for me, always to give people the experience.
Same.
Well, they sound like some amazing dreams that you've got there ahead of you, and completely achievable with the energy that you're bringing just to this conversation. I look forward to seeing that in Edinburgh as well, to drive your audiences in. Now, I'm just wondering if we go back a little step, and if we went back to those early days of you starting this production 9 months ago, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nine months this journey to get you here. What did that feel like in that early stage of coming together? What are your beginning memories of the start of this?
So much fear. It was so scary. We didn't have control over who the groups were that were put together because we are in a master's program, so they chose them for us. So there was a lack of control already. We also were in a place where we had 2 scripts. So it was going to be one story or another. And we all really wanted this one. And the other one, we were like, if we get it, like we have to live with it for 9 months. And oh my God. So I think that there was a lot of fear about like, how are we going to get along as a group? How is the show going to go? Is it going to be one that we believe in? Because, you know, we are a very diverse cast. And we want to make sure that we're bringing representation to the stage. It's a huge part of our Backyard Alchemy, like, inertia. And I think there was a ton of excitement too. Like, you were given such a cool opportunity to build something from the floor, and we came up with Backyard Alchemy. And it's kind of cute because on our socials, if you scroll all the way down, you watch our beginning, literally from the very beginning of choosing between the 2 shows all the way through us going through Fringe. So you get to be on that journey with us from day 1 to day done.
Yeah,
And so, go on, Danny.
I was excited because, you know, like she said, we had 2 shows and I really wanted that one. So we got lucky with the show. I think we got lucky with each other. Like,
oh my God.
It always sucks when you're in a show that the cast doesn't get along with, and then it's like, oh, this is who I'm stuck with for months. But like, we get along with each other. We love the show. We have good rapport with our director.
Love our director.
Amazing.
Shout out to Jesse.
Even our writer, who is himself a professional in the industry, writer, decided to
take a chance on us.
Yeah, take a chance out of his own, you know, heart and goodness that help us out. And he's been really attentive with our needs and like the revisions and stuff like that. We've gotten really lucky with writer, director, each other, the script, everything.
So the beginning was definitely it was a mix.
Uncertain, but it grew into such a beautiful collaboration between us and the director and the writer that I didn't really expect. I expected them to be more like, at least the writer to be more hands-off, to just give us a product and we have to do it. But it was such a beautiful collaboration.
Yeah, it's a great word.
So what does that collaboration look like then? Because it doesn't always work for some people. Like you say, writers tend to be a bit kind of like, this is my work, and you actors, you read the lines. But it sounds like here they've given you some creative freedom and that you've been molding something together.
I think with Tommy, we got really lucky because he, from the get-go, was all about active communication. And there's 2 parts to that. It's not just speaking, it's listening. And we really wanted to do him justice because the very first baby draft that we had was so funny. We were like, okay, we love this. This is funny. Like, there's so much that can happen here. Where could this world go? And having that initial reaction of like, oh my God, there's so many ways that this story could go because we didn't know the end yet. And then getting our second draft, which was like, oh, okay, well, that wasn't what we thought. Okay, but that's fine. And then our third draft where we fell in love with this show. And then our fourth draft where we were like, what did you do to it? That's not every step of the way, he would be like, I see that this isn't working in some way, let's revise. Or like, why doesn't that work? Or like, what lines don't feel human to say out loud? Or, hey, I noted that was weird. He would come into rehearsals to hear us speak, to watch us go through runs. Jessie, our director, was also huge. She's so like intellectually on top of it. She's dramaturgically strong. She has a great eye. So having her in the room was so great because she'd clock something immediately where she's like, people don't talk like that. Or like, she'd be like, we're missing something here and it doesn't work and this needs to be fleshed out. And I think between all of those moving puzzle pieces, we were able to just be honest with each other without fear of judgment, because we weren't coming at it from a lens of make me better. We were coming from a lens of we want to tell this story. How can we help you do that?
Yeah.
And that honesty, I think, is so important in the theatre process. I
Absolutely.
think, like I mentioned earlier about Edinburgh being this place of creative freedom, I
Yes.
think that honesty is one of like the keys to unlocking that potentially.
Totally. I mean, their honesty, I think, can come through two places. And as long as you're not coming from a place of ego, which is where unkindness comes from, but you're coming from a lens of open kindness and adaptation and the ability to see beyond yourself and what's better for the greater good. We all lost lines that we loved. We've lost scenes that we coveted. Like there's jokes that like we just adored. They're not in this version, and that's okay because it's a better version. But we had to fall on that sword. And we did so willingly because we trust the people in this process.
So within this process, I'm wondering about because you mentioned the ego there. So
Yes.
how do we keep the ego in check? Because as performers, we all have that ego,
Yeah.
and we don't not there's none of us that don't have it. But how do we keep it in check in a collaborative project then?
So in collaborative projects, I think there's natural leaders that come out that help with that process. And I think they kind of come into a place where they help to usher more understanding. I think that's part of it. I think that active communication is a huge part of it. I think the biggest part is working on your own EQ. Like your emotional intelligence is your responsibility. And if you are coming to the table in a place of a low EQ, where you haven't taken the time to figure out why you're triggered by somebody giving you those notes, or why you're triggered by somebody, giving you feedback in a way that you take like really intensely, then it's now your responsibility to go home and reflect on that and come back to the space better than you were before. And there's, of course, going to be very human experiences where something hurts or something offends or something, just hit a bruise in the wrong way, in a way you weren't expecting. But the more that you are able to like trust your team and move forward with the understanding that it's not about just me, it's about us, I think the more that we are able to take responsibility for our own actions because we know that it affects the group.
Yeah, and I think that Jessie has also done a really great job in creating a really safe space in our room.
Absolutely.
That when people get hurt or anything like that, if that even happens, that you always feel safe to come to people about it. But I don't even think that it's ever gone to that point.
No, I think that everybody came into this project understanding that the priority was the story. The story is the most important thing, and we are here to tell the story. Like even when our writer, when we got the fourth draft, there in one of the scenes,
Bless you, Tommy. Bless you.
in one of the scenes, he wrote some extra lines for me. And if I was egotistic, I would have been like, yes, more lines, more stage presence. But the lines didn't make any sense for my character to say. So I told him, I don't think I'd be saying anything at all in this moment. So these lines can just be like cut, not even replaced with like a different phrasing, or just cut out outright. Because I knew that just saying that line would ruin the emotional moment of that specific scene. And even Tommy himself, he could have been, like, well, I wrote this and I know what I'm doing because I'm the one in the industry here. But he came in here because his career is in screenplays, and this was the first play script that he actually writes. And it actually shows, because in the first draft, our director had to tell him a couple of times, how are we supposed to do this on stage? He writes it like it's a movie, so obviously the editing magic works, but then, budget
being in being in the real world all together all at once.
Well, I mean, that's, I think, a big thing too, is like humans are gonna human. We're gonna have reactions that we can't help. And I think that forgiveness is a part of that. Trust is another part of it. Trusting ourselves. I mean, we have each had emotional days in the room because we're people. We're not, robots that can just turn on actor mode. Like, we're gonna have real experiences, but because we've built the trusting community that we have, we can also forgive each other and be like, hey, it's okay, tomorrow will be a better day, and brush it off and move on. And I think that in an egotistical room, it becomes daggers, right? Did you see what they did? Well, they did it. Like, no. They were human. It's their first time living too. Like, we're all learning. It's okay. Like, you know what? Take my hand. It's going to be okay.
It sounds like you found as a group an amazing teamwork, a way to move forward with your craft, with your project, by listening to each other, supporting each other, and caring for each other, and creating what a term that's sometimes a bit overused, but it sounds like you've got a safe space.
We've worked really hard on that safe space, to be honest. Like, I think that it's been on the forefront for a lot of us because we've all come in this industry. There's a lot of unsafe spaces, and that's an unfortunate reality. And I hope that changes more and more every day. But because that is an unfortunate reality, we knew what we didn't want. And I think that we then worked really hard to make something that was workable. It's not perfect. We definitely have had issues. We have ongoing, responsibilities that we have to consistently try to redirect to make sure that we're all balanced. Human's gonna human, and the best thing we can do is to like swallow our pride, move forward, and just give a good show. And that's each of our solo responsibility, which then coagulates into a group responsibility. And I think that we take that very seriously.
Yeah, even before we got cast in the show, we've been together like 3 months before then. Like, it was
Like, just about, yeah.
Yeah, so like in the 3 months that we've known each other, like in the classes, and we've done our own like monologues and movements and scenes and stuff like that, we've grown this sort of sense of like safety with one another.
Yeah, because we were in a project together that was several weeks with the same director. We were very lucky. And I mean, for us to be where we're at in this current show, I don't think we would have been if we had not had that previous experience together. Because when you're going in as strangers and then it's like, be vulnerable for a grade, it's like, oh, okay, wait, what? And we were both in the industry for several more years before coming into our master. So like coming into this experience, I think was already like a lot. Going back into student mode is no joke. But yeah, I think that the cohort that we all come from, like, is also, they call us the Kumbaya Squad because we just like get along and be supportive. Like, what's the alternative?
There is an alternative that doesn't always work, that you do get these groups of actors with, where the egos are overpowering, and it happens. So I'm wondering if you have any specific advice to groups that are not making it work right now, that groups that are struggling, that groups that are not coming together. What can they do to change that?
Okay. Hi, I've had so many great specialists. Let's chat. I think when you're coming into a room that feels unsafe and there's a lot of ego, it really comes down to the chain of command first. Where is the problem and where is the highest form of that problem? And how can we, as a collective, go above that authority after we've communicated to them first? If things have not changed, how can we go above that so we can have a trickle-down effect? I think that there is a huge amount of courage you have to advocate for your needs. I think that as actors, we have all been told that, you don't matter or you're replaceable. But the fact of the matter is you were cast for a reason, and you are bringing something to the table, and you are a very real human being going through a very real human experience. So you have to do the hard thing, which is to advocate for your needs. And sometimes that does mean leaving a project, and that's okay, because I think that there is room in this industry for absolutely everybody. It's a huge industry when you actually look around. And if you want to be in the rooms where you are respected, then you have to demand respect. And that starts with knowing yourself and knowing your boundaries. It also starts with a really good talk at the beginning of the process, what does our process look like? Does that work for all the brains in the room? If it doesn't work for your brain, how can you, with that brain, bring in specific tools to help yourself out? We have, I think, as ourselves, we had a great talk when we first started this process, and that was a huge part of it. What does this process look like? I also think that with active communication and active listening comes processing time. I think everybody needs to, again, advocate for time away from projects. Take your nights and shut off your brain. Take your mornings and go work out. Like, you need to have something that is structurally yours outside of a world where you're learning to become someone else and tell someone else's story. And then the last part, I would say, is take a deep breath before you say something out of anger. If you think it's a good idea to fly off the handle, you've now created a worser environment. And what you need to do is take a deep breath before you do that. Because as actors, a lot of us are impulsive, which is why we're hireable. We love that. but because of that impulsivity, take a breath. And if that anger is still sitting there after that breath, it is not the time to speak. If that anger is still hitting 3 weeks down the line, you need to speak to someone that can help you. And if you don't know that chain of command, then you're missing a vital part of your process. And I don't know that that is the show for you to be in healthily anymore. If you can't talk to your stage manager, if you don't have, an assistant director, if your director isn't listening to you, like, really take a second and ask yourself if it is healthy for you to be in that place. And is it healthy for you to stay in that place if you are the one that's creating the ripples? Be for real. Like, be for real with yourself. It's okay. It's not, doesn't make you a quitter. Like, it just makes you accountable. And I think that we all need to be more accountable in spaces that don't feel good.
We're going back to that honesty and truth again, aren't we? Is that's how we find the way forward. And these are humans being humans. I love that phrase.
Yeah.
These are core skills for us.
Absolutely.
Whether we're actors or not. And actually, you say it's great for an actor to be impulsive. But actually, shouldn't we as actors be trying to develop those skills of being able to control our emotions, to be able to perform in some way?
I respectfully disagree with that.
Go for it.
I think the reason I say that is, as a neurodivergent ADHD woman, I have a second brain that is my editor. And if that editor is playing all the time and I'm not impulsive, I will listen to that editor before I do my impulse. And then you're not going to get a truthful moment from me. You're going to get something pre-planned. And I do it fast. So I think that, honestly, that comes down to the brain. I also think that there is something beautifully raw about having an emotional impulse, because you discover in that moment. It can be wrong. It can be so wrong. But it can also help to crack other things open for you to discover then. I think that it can be I'll be the first one to be like, method acting isn't real. Like, that's not a skill. Like, can be scary and unsafe. I think that when you have tools in your arsenal, you are able to come to a piece with such honesty and discovery that what you find is genuine. But if you're able to pull out any emotion, like, nobody really has that skill. And if you do, are you okay? Like, do you, like, are you, like, what's up? I think that we develop tools to find ways to be impulsively present.
Yeah, I think there's also like a safety aspect to impulsiveness, because, like you said, like, it's a skill. But also the safety of your colleagues should also be a priority, and that is sometimes overlooked with the impulsivity. So impulsivity for me is like, up to a certain point is a wonderful skill to have, but you do have to have a sort of like boundary, like a line to draw.
That's where method comes in. I think that's like where like method and schooling comes in, is to help you understand what those boundaries and lines are, personally.
And I think that's what I was trying to get at, is like having an understanding of the impulses, having some background, rather than just being so sporadic in our life that there is absolutely no method to our madness.
Heard.
Well, the beautiful thing about impulsivity is that you may not have planned on it, but obviously that must have come from somewhere. And if it worked, then why did it work? And if it didn't work, then why didn't it work? And then part of the rehearsal process is, all right, why did it work? Can you do it again? If it was a little bit too much, can you do the same thing, but just tone it down a little bit? And to go with your trust thing, like, yes, there's a difference between doing something impulsive, like saying something a different way or changing the blocking, and doing something impulsive, like in a scene where you're angry and you just decide to like smack your partner.
Because let's be real.
And do you know what? And do you know what? So this is where I'm going with this. That I've seen this. I've seen actors so impulsive that they will go to strangle someone, that they will hit them in real life, and that's not on. I don't. That's not.
No,
I would call it
that's going in. That's not impulsivity. I think impulsivity and boundaries can live in the same world, and they should. I was in a production where I was very physically hurt by somebody that decided that they had to actually pull me up by my hair in a live audience. This is a paid professional gig, and he pulled me up and it snapped my neck in a way where I had a very audible reaction because I was in immense pain, and it scared the heck out of me. And the audience was visibly uncomfortable. My partner at the time started to leave his seat because he was like, that's not right, something's wrong. In that experience, though, I learned that that's a type of method acting. I feel so much that I'm going to do the thing, versus impulsivity, which is, I have an idea. And that's usually just a fleeting moment of like, I moved, or I tried it with this feeling, but it's not to endanger. Because boundaries have been in place. That's why we do blocking. That's why we do rehearsals. That's why we take these measures, is to create safety nets for the actors. You live in this world. We created it from all of this, but now it's here. And this is where it lives. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, rehearsals is the time for you to explore all of your impulses. Because once you've locked everything in the show, that's what everybody is trusting you will do. Impulses for the rehearsals, lock it in for the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that. Love that. Awesome. I'm discovering some wonderful things here. I appreciate you guys for sharing so much.
Of course.
So let me know, where am I going to find your show? Where are you on at?
We are at the Radisson on the Royal Mile in Space 3. Our show is Romance on Repeat. And we are on August 3rd through the 23rd on all odd days. And we are also Backyard Alchemy Theater on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky. You can DM us. Hi, I'm the social media manager. You will be speaking to me. I am always messaging back. I literally have 2 phones. I look like a secret agent. It's amazing.
Well, I'll be sure to add links into the comment of this comment. And thanks again, guys, for sharing. And if anyone has been watching or listening to this conversation, we appreciate you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for having us.
No problem at all. Thank you. Goodbye.